Same as it ever was. 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 Water dissolving and water removing. There is water at the bottom of the ocean. Under the water, carry the water. Remove the water at the bottom of the ocean. Water dissolving and water removing.
What is up, boys and girls?
What up?
What up?
How we living?
Good.
Amazing.
Building a dream, building a dream.
Woohoo! Fired up.
There we go. I like it.
Ready to go.
Where's Miss National Leaderboard first 5K week, Emily Willis?
She said she's driving.
You know, excuses are like noses. Everybody's got one and most of them smell. Probably didn't think I was going there, huh? All right. I was gonna pick on Miss M a little bit, but she's driving. She gets a reprieve. All right. How we feeling today? How we're going? I think I'm gonna do something that I don't think everybody's really taken advantage of, and frankly, I want it recorded. So, how many people think they're fully maximizing how powerful HQ is now? How many people really think they know where to go, what to do, the ins and outs, where everything is, all the updates, and like how powerful what like symmetry and quality is built for us? Does anybody feel like I got it, like I'm really, really good at it? Or does anybody feel like, hey, I would love to be like way better at it and like get some more, get better at it? Yes?
The second
Yeah.
one. Probably
That's the second
probably
one.
like,
Get better at it.
probably like at
Jeez, I need to
70%.
get better.
Yeah, I'm like Debbie, like a 70%. I feel like I'm good at it, but I can always learn more.
Right. So, for Debbie, Walnetta, the agent's been here a while, right? I mean, HQ didn't exist, right? Like it wasn't there. And it's one of the reasons we won the tech awards last year, right? Is our quality platform, all those fun things. We got cool stuff coming out. I got my funnel onboarding email yesterday, finally. So I'm like so excited. Like they're rolling it out to like some more people. So I'm pumped to finally like start messing with that. For those of you who are new, you're like, what's funnel? That doesn't mean anything to me. Why are you excited? Okay. So what they've been working on is, you've heard us talk about Switchboard, right? Switchboard is our CRM. It has our dialer, different things built into it. Okay. Funnel is the 1980s Arnold Schwarzenegger on steroids version of it. Okay. Like it is, as you go through, what they've done is they've like the dialers built into it now, so you can make more calls, right? But more importantly, as you're quoting clients and putting in, hey, they have high blood pressure, and diabetes, where can we go? And it's going to show the carriers that are there. That's why I've been telling everybody, don't worry about virtual mentor, because it's getting bolted on in another place. So super excited. So as that rolls out, I will definitely be like all in on that. But that's who's talking and who do I got to mute? Who I got to mute? All right. So found it. 100 lashes with a wet noodle, Christina. So, but right, HQ is an incredibly powerful tool now. Like I'm really thankful, just even over the year I've been here, right? HQ wasn't what it is now. Like it's on that, if you've ever seen or read like Good to Great or looked at a bell curve, right? It starts like this and then it goes like this. HQ's at like this now. HQ's in like rocket ship mode with updates. So we're just going to go through it so you guys can start finding everything, right? As most of you are also building here. A bunch of us are new agents, right? Like, why did we win the tech awards? What's the power behind it? And how do we use it to get better at what we're doing? So let's share my screen. That would be shockingly helpful. All right. Okay. So when you log into HQ, you're going to land here, right? Like this is just the landing page. You know, generally over on the right, you're going to see here. Now, here's a little trick I'm already going to give you up front. If you log into HQ on your phone and you flip your phone horizontal, you'll see this. If you leave it vertical, you can't scroll through and get everything, right? But you can turn it because as you go down, you can start looking like, hey, what's been submitted? What's been placed? How many riders, right? I have the agency stuff. Like, what are we doing? You know, like your numbers are there, right? So for those that are new, right, in Summit, get through all of Summit. It is super helpful. If you haven't done it, just know your mentor and your upline can see exactly how far you were when the last time you logged in was. Everything here is visible, right? Like anything that you're like, any mentor above you can always see your progress, right? But like what this has here is as you got in now, it shows you how to use your LMS account, right? How to go through the basics, like the essential skills, right? Like you can see I've done all this stuff, right? Like I've gone through as far as I can go through. Okay. So take advantage of that. Now let's talk about Perform Dash. Okay. So this is really, really important. Okay. So this is like you can really this platform is like what Salesforce sells and costs thousands of dollars a month. You can track all your data in there, right? I know like what my monthly income goal is. You can track your counting what counts, right? You can keep it here, right? Like you can say, hey, AB from submitted, placed, right? Issue, right? Like, hey, I had a back charge last month, right? Like you can look at your lead sources, like you can really take advantage. And then when you start building, you can get into like all your building stuff where you go. All right. You know, those surveys that we get popped up and you get asked to fill out, you don't know who it's from, but your mentor and upline can see how everybody thinks they're doing. So, right. Like if you see somebody struggling on your team, you can go look at that stuff. Right. But now let's get back to nuts and bolts. Okay. You're always going to see this, right? Be engaged, obviously, right? Conferences come in, tickets are important, get on there. Okay. But my profile, okay? This is going to have a couple things, right? But the big one is, and most of you, I think, know this now, right? But your licensing and carrier numbers are there, right? But the cool thing is you can click to copy them when you're having to do stuff, right? Hey, click to copy, right? All the states you're in, it will show, right? It'll also show when it's from, when is it good till, right? Like those different kind of things. And then your documents, right? Like your TCPA agreement, anything you really want to know, like corporate document wise, that you need to have, right? Like it's in there. So, like I had to update new errors and emissions insurance, right? So you can see it's up top, right? So your E&O is there. All your documents are in there. Again, you can look at, you know, those different kinds of things. It's there. And then your bio, right? Like when you see this picture, if you don't put your picture in there, when the leaderboard comes up, you will have a funny picture of you displayed instead of your pretty mug. Put your picture in there. Okay. Now we'll start with the 9 dots. Well, it used to be 9. It's the 9 dots, but it has more stuff now. Okay. So opt, switchboard, navigator, right? So these are the main 3 we're going to use all the time. Okay. So opt we know is where we buy leads, upload, switchboard is our CRM. Once you're ready, you get into there. And then navigator is our quote tool, right? We have a training on navigator I've already done. Go watch it. Also go into HQ. We're going to talk about it today. Go into navigator training. Okay. And remember though, companies like Transamerica, America, different companies aren't in there, right? Like not every company's product is in navigator yet because of how the platforms work. Okay. Don't have to worry about any of FormPipe, iPipeline. Don't worry about Virtual Mentor. A couple things, okay? Right? The LMS, right? Lead stream, right? Which has been massively updated, right? And that's where I'm going to go first, okay? So when you go into lead stream, this is why do we want you to become a seasoned new agent? Why do we want you to sell 6 applications, right? Anybody? Because what do you get once you do that?
SLO.
You can get a SLO, a standing lead order, right? Which means, and here's the reality of it, Symmetry's going to funnel leads to people that close, right? If you're closing, you're selling, you're going to get first priority, right? Like humbly, I go put a standing lead order in, I'm getting it filled instantly, right? Like my stuff's going to get filled right away because they know that I'm selling policies and I'm placing them, right? Like that's right. They want that to go there. It's not that there's not enough. You're just going to get it filled sooner. Okay. But this is where you can go start putting in your lead order, right? So say you want to do a call in order. Okay. CIAs, right? Because I'm at a level I can't do a standing lead order for Bs. Okay. So those are saved for the agents that are, newer coming up, right? Which is what we want, right? Call in mortgage protection. And then it shows all my licensed states. It's already there, right? But example, New York automatically clicks. I'm not selling in New York. I have New York because I have agents that live in New York. Okay. But you can click like, hey, I want to go after West Coast states, right? Like you can go pick like West Coast time zones, right? How much the lead are, put it in, boom, and then your order is there. So the standing lead order now used to be a form that we filled out, okay? You had to go do a form. You don't do that anymore. You don't do an actual form for doing orders. You can also look at there. You can see I, I've been beta testing a new SBLI product, so I've been buying some Lighthouse because whatever I needed like to use some of their leads for it. So so you'll see those alerts will come up on leads and different stuff coming in. But this is where, right, like you can go in, call in, right, add your card. I've read terms and conditions, right? I have my card on file. Boom, I go order my leads, and then every week that lead order's coming in. But right, lead stream is where, again, that's where you go buy them. And then the LMS, right? This is arguably now like one of the most important things everybody needs to do. So, right, if you aren't checking all these boxes, you're just hurting yourself. Okay. So you can see like some of the base stuff up there, but you click and you go into the training center. Okay. And you can see what you've done, right? I've done all the quality lead stream, navigator certification, funnel training, funnel engagement, right? I've done all the intro to leads. When people ask me all the time, what are the leads? Intro to what kind of leads? What are they? There's literally videos and teachings on breaking it down. What's this type of video? What's this type of lead? Right? Hey, standing A lead orders. How do we get there? Right? But what do we do and how we get there? Okay. This is advanced market stuff. You see, I haven't gone and done my annuity certifications and stuff yet. I got Walnetta, right? We got, right? We got people for this, right? We have subject matter experts, not my monkey, not my circus, right? Like I got other things to do. I will happily split the application, let them sell it, and you go do all the work. I'll just bring the company to you, right? That's the whole point behind a DFL, behind these advanced markets is we have people that have gone through all this certification, okay? But the AIG SIWL product, I want to talk about this a little bit, okay? When you are doing, okay, when you're doing what you would even think would be a graded policy, like guaranteed issue, always start with Corebridge and AIG now in the SIWL app. Why, Trevor? Because they've updated their product, okay? And it's really cool now, all right? What it does is when you do the application there, okay, the app's going through, and if they're a guaranteed issue, it will tell you, boom, hey, you got to go GIWL, and it just pivots automatically. But here's the thing. They have a graded SIWL product that is really liberal, okay? It's more liberal than Americo Select. I've had people that have got declined on Transamerica and got the new Corebridge SIWL graded, okay? I had a lady 2 weeks ago that she would have been able to afford $10,000 in guaranteed issue. And it works the same. It's a graded product, right? But because she qualified for the graded, for the same amount of money, I got her $25,000 in coverage, right? How cool is that to do for a family? Okay. So as you're learning, this is why you got to come in and do this, because we have new products coming all the time. Okay. So if you guys are going to Corebridge to do a GIWL, or you think I got to pivot there, start with the SIWL because it might go graded. And if it's not graded, it just boom, it automatically turns it in to the guaranteed issue product. It's super easy. Okay. And now back to the other certifications. You can see I've done the final expense, all things reset, right? Like, how many people want to know how to like pivot and set a DFL appointment, right? And what to say and what to know better? Yes. All things reset. All things reset show you how to do that. It literally teaches you step by step. Here's what you ask, right? Here's what you do in a mortgage protection appointment, right? And when you go through, you click on it. You can see like, here's all it is, right? I'm not restarting because I'm not redoing it again. But when you click into it, you'll be able to see the different modules that are in there, okay? So now we're back to there. I got to go back one more. Back one more. Okay. Now, okay. These are for advanced markets. Don't worry about that. If you've ever wrote with foresters, okay, right? You understand it might as well be fully underwritten, right? Foresters has its place for us, but boy, oh boy, do I not like their application, right? Like you are the client might as well like it's going to feel like a fully underwritten policy, okay? But this is the client portal to walk through so you can help your clients, right? Now, this is one of my favorite things in here. Here's literally recorded role plays to learn how to get better on bonus leads, how to get better on digital leads, how to get better on call-ins, general life leads. Like there's different ways to get better, right? And nobody's here to do that for you. So we have to do two things. We got to make our dials, but you got to learn how to do this too, right? And there is a massive amount of training in here that are doing it, right? These are with Sean Lyons, okay? Sean is our VP, one of our VPs of sales and marketing, okay? Listen, guys, they're looking at millions and millions of data points, right? Think about all the agents we have and all the calls we're making and all the sales. They're sales nerds like me. I love Ditson and Lyons and those guys because like we can get like deep in the weeds on this stuff, but they're looking at right? Like they're looking at the data. For those on the Purdy National call, when they were listening to Sarah Reinecke talk about, she wanted to know, hey, is there a correlation? Trust me, if they can find a data correlation behind it, Quility's going to find it, right? So that's what's here, okay? And then how many of us have gone in and started to learn the analog playbook and workflow, right? I want to learn how to when to contact, how to follow up, what to say to bonus leads, to B, C, D, E, F, G leads. Analog leads are those leads. This is your training right here. Okay. This is amazing training. It is up to date. It literally will also start showing the switchboard funnel. You're going to look at that and go, I really want that. Quility and Symmetry want everybody to have it. It's a massive project. They're rolling it out at a time because software bugs happen. They got to get there. But go through these. Then it has, if you move into digital leads, text message templates. All the time people ask me, well, what do you know how to say? No, I know to say that because I know what this is. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm trying to trust the people that are selling $300 million a year worth of product and are looking at it behind the scenes for us, right? So there's all these things to go do, but it's easier just to call your mentor and say, hey, how do I do this? Hey, how do I do this? Right? Like go in and like start doing this and make like, you don't have to do it in one day, just one thing at a time, right? Implement a new tool into your toolbox, right? Think about a brand new mechanic, right? A brand new mechanic has a basic set of tools, but that tool truck comes by every week, right? The tool man, right? Oh, hey, I know I'm starting to run into this a lot. I need to work on this, right? So as you get into the analog lead flow, it is super important. This is what I use. And it's very simple. I use the Zip script. I use the Sales Genius presentation, and I use these cadences, right? People ask me, how did you sell 300 grand last year? This is how, right? Like, I'm not trying to change it. I'm not trying to change the wheel. I'm just trying to get really good at repeating, right? And then there's just some really good sales tools, right? How to place business faster, how to become a professional, sales psychology, right? This Jim Lear from conference is really good. And then I get some access to some builder stuff now. So once you work up, you're also going to get access to builder stuff once you get some promotions. So it's there. But take advantage of this. And here's the thing. You can also change it into that view. If you want to see like, hey, how's everything laid out? You can lay it out that way and see what's reviewed there. Okay. So if you don't click into the 9 boxes, right? Quility University. Okay. The LMS is just where I was. Summit. Okay. Now, if you want to know more, you can just know more, right? Here it is. Like, here's how we're doing it, right? Like, this is how, like, what is this about? I want to know what those are. It shows like different coaches, right? Like, there's current coaching groups, right? You have to be able to qualify for some of this, okay? Like on what's available, right? Like, these are what's going on. But, like Brian was just talking about, like, I'm going to go to this, right? Like, I'm going to invest the $125 and go to this, guys, right? Like, this is going to fill up, but you can pay into those kind of things, right? And then it'll also show you when you get ready, right? Like, different coaches that are in there, right? So Symmetry has vetted coaches. I personally meet with Jim Lee twice a month. I pay Jim and I go to meet with Jim to get coaching to get better because I want to learn how to lead better. I want to be a better, right? Like I got to go get filled up too, right? Like I met Jim through Symmetry. Side note for those that don't know, ended up being nutso. Jim's 2 years older than me. We went to the same high school together. And like we looked at each other and then we were like, hey, like I think we know each other, right? But when you're 2 years apart in high school, it's a big thing, okay? But this is massive, right? Being there, okay? Now let's talk about resources and then I'll get into sales. Okay. Agent resources, the handbook. You ever read the handbook? I read all the handbooks. Go read them. It's interesting, right? If you want to know how Symmetry really works, it's there, right? Like, here's a great one, okay? This glossary has every term in it. Like every word we use when you're like, what does that mean? I do not know who that is. And you can literally just click it like up top by the letter, right? Like as you go through, right? Like, hey, what is that? And it'll scroll. Oh, if I download, it'll scroll down to it, right? But like as you scroll through, like what's an annuity, right? What is a base shop? Right? Like this is awesome to have, guys, right? Like there's all these things like because for those that are brand new and just getting started here, this is a whole nother language, right? This business is like someone might as well be speaking German to you and you speak Japanese, right? You're like, I have no idea what all these words are. This is how I learned all this stuff, right? I just went in there and I'd keep this open. I'm like, okay, what is this? What's a college mortgage protection lead, right? Like, hey, what is debt-free life? Okay, that's what it is. What is a dividend? Like, literally every word you can think of that we basically use is in here, right? So, all right, where is this again? So, Linda, back into, right? Resources, okay? Agent resources. So you have the handbooks, okay? Right? And then the glossary right here. This shows, it's awesome. It shows everything. Like it's so good because again, right? It's a different language we're learning, right? And remember that when we're talking to our clients, right? Our clients, we might use terms that are now unconsciously competent for us, but it doesn't mean it is for our client, okay? So, why do I care about this, right? Levels of leadership page. I can name these people above me. Okay. I know there's 7 managing partners. I know who they are, right? I know who all, right? I know there's 1. I know there's 4 associate, right? Like I know how many EVPs, SVPs, MVPs. You know why? Why do I go to the national call? Because I want to know who I'm chasing. Okay. Like I want to know who I'm chasing. And that's legitimately like who I'm chasing. Okay. Next. If you just want to see like your promotion, like, hey, I'm trying to, as Scott likes to say, right? I'm trying to get out of the basement, right? Like, what's my promotion, right? This talks about what you need to do, right? What becomes a T leader? What becomes a key leader? What's an elite producer, top producer? Okay. It's all there. All right. Now, corporate resources. Love this. All right. our core values, right? All that's there. But this is my favorite one. Sometimes someone jumps on the call and I don't know who they are. They're all here. Everybody that's there works there, right? So all I did, right, was go back, right? Corporate leadership, right? And it shows you who they are, right? So like we know who B-Dubs is. We see him a lot, right? You might hear about Mike Resma. Mike Resma's right really on the distribution advanced market side, right? Like Matt is our legal, right? Like hopefully none of you ever have to talk to Matt, but stuff happens. Right? But if you want to know like who people are, like, hey, I saw they're on that call. Like, who is that? Like, guys, I want you to now also look at this, okay? And I know that I know that I know this, okay? There is not another brokerage or an IMO or a company like us that has this kind of team behind them. I want you to look at all these directors and senior directors, right? And I want you to understand it takes all these people to make this work for us to have HQ, to have leads, to have these amazing products. I really want you to think about like what they're investing into doing that, right? Like how they're doing that, what's coming along. Like, look at that, guys. These are just the directors, right? And the executives. This isn't even everybody that's working, okay? So, but if you want to know who someone is, it's there, all right? Marketing. I can't, like, there's so many cool brand assets in here, okay? So, if you want to, like, how to, like, there's the brand guides, the how to's, the social medias, right? It's all there, right? You can download all this stuff, right? If you want an email signature, right? Click it in. Watch this. Yes, I have permission. I know I have permission, right? And then you can also click it to make it go right into your Google Drive, right? If you want to say, hey, I want to use the Symmetry brand, right? Like I have one that I use, but you want it? It's right there. Here's the thing. You can also click it and save it right to your Google Drive and just update it with your info. Boom. There you go. There's your email signature. Okay. There's call templates, but then in here, right? If you're like, hey, I want to start sharing stuff on social media before, the brand and color guides are there, right? I took that and uploaded it into our Canva. We have a Canva account. We use Canva, right? I took the brand colors and just put them in there, right? So now all the brand stuff's in there. There's literally Zoom branded backgrounds. There's logos, right? What's our font? Social media cover photos. Like, look at all the stuff that's there, okay? And they literally show you how to use it up here, right? Like, what's the brand how-tos, right? What do you mean? Like, what are we doing there? You can learn how to do this, okay? Right? Like, here's all the stuff we have to do, okay? So, back to marketing, okay? When people ask me what videos to share, they're also here, right? Agent videos for sharing, right? Like, here are videos to just share with recruits. It will take you there, right? Here's national conference. Here's a debt-free life one, right? Power your career. Like, look at all these videos. There's years and years worth of videos that you can share with someone, okay? Everybody's always like, where do you get all this stuff? There you go, right? Like, but you got to go through it. So that's why I did it, right? And then the recruiting playlist has a bunch of cool videos that has like stuff we can send out, right? Like, Casey's out, right? Right? There's a bunch of really cool stuff, right? And then, hey, if you have like a request form, like, right? Like if you want to have your head like there's all that kind of stuff, okay? So super cool. I love that. All right. Agent benefits. We can get access to, right? Insurance if you need it. Okay. There's enrollment times like everybody else, but you can get health insurance if you need it. Okay. And my favorite one, promotions, bonuses, right? This has the PDFs and talks about Slingshot, right? If you hear what's Equity 130, right? What's a Slingshot? What's a producer bonus, right? How many of you know you can earn a bonus here just producing? Right? Did you guys know that? You can earn a bonus here, okay? Right? Once you reach 95, everything net placed over $15,000, you get a 5% bonus. Guys, I've gotten thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in bonuses in the last year from Symmetry just for doing my job, right? Just for selling and helping families, not hundred. Like I've gotten, right, like thousands. Dylan Crane gets 10 grand in just producer bonuses every month. Like he makes 10K in producer bonuses just for helping protect families. Okay. So what's another reason to like go after Slingshot? Once you get to 95, you start getting bonus for just being a producer, right? And then obviously it goes up with level, just like everything else. Okay. Now, fully bonusable, there are some carriers, if you got it right, you only get 50%. So keep that in mind, but that's there. Okay. So lots of really cool stuff there. All right. And if you really want to know and understand, right, like on the equities, structure and how it works, like, what do you mean? Right? Like, how does it go into the pool? What does it take? Like, I've gone through this. I wanted to know, like, how do I get there? Like, what are they doing? Right? 6.5% of the net premium is set aside for the 130 bonus pool. Okay. Like, that doesn't suck, boys and girls. So I want you to think about that. They're just clearing almost 7% of money off the net, not off the gross, like off the money they made. They're just taking it and say, hey, give it back to our team, give it back to our agents, right? Because that net is also how, right, like we have that huge agent resource page. Okay. So next, we're going to do support. If you need to submit a ticket, you just click support. Click on whatever you're having issue with, right? And it's there. Now, keep in mind, there's a ton of questions here on what to do, but right, like it is so simple, right? Like, hey, navigator's being dumb, it's not working, submit a support ticket. It is just that easy, okay? It'll ask you to put your name, talk about it, and then you'll have your ticket in. So it happens, right? Now, stats and leaderboards, okay? You can go look at the agency's level. You can go look at once you start moving up into a team leader, key leader, agency owner, you get access to your team's data, right? You can look at your production stats. You can look at your recruiting stats. You can see your summit stats. How many people want me to show everybody summit stats? I'm not going to do that right now, but right? You can view registrations for conference, right? Who signed up under your code if you have a code for conference, right? Here's the other part, right? This is where you can see, like, if you do have agents, this is where you can see their birthdays, promotions, like, and how much they actually use HQ. You know why I brought this up? Is because I went and looked at how much everybody was using HQ, and I went, oh my gosh, not everybody's using HQ. They're missing like how much they should be using it, right? Okay. Policies. You can look at your submitted applications now, pending policies, place policies, right? Your bonuses in commission, right? You can see as of this month, it's not there, right? Like, look at like, what was it, October, November, right? November, I had a $2,100 bonus from, because that was a month after conference, right? Like I had a $2,100 bonus from Symmetry, right? Like you can see how much is there. All right. Now let's get into the cool, fun stuff. Sales tools. Okay. This is the thing that I think is the Ferrari of what we have here. Okay. So Quility platforms. What are our platforms? Leadstream, Switchboard, Pathfinders for advanced market, right? Navigator, right? Don't worry about virtual mentor. It's being built into funnel. Don't mess with it. All right. But this is where it gets really cool. Okay. All the carrier stuff is in there. Okay. But I'm going to start at the bottom and work up. Don't worry about advanced markets if you're new. Don't go there. Don't get lost in the weeds. You don't even know mortgage protection and general life yet. Okay. This is always open on my computer. Okay. The master commission schedule. Do you want to know how much money you make on every single policy with every single product at every level? Okay. This shows what you make with every carrier. This is maintained by corporate. Okay. The master commission says you're like, hey, What do I get on Americo, right? So Americo, if I sell between 60 and 80, everybody's saying I'm a new agent, I make 65%, right? But if I go to AmAm and I got to sell Dignity Solutions, right? I only make 60, right? So you know, like, hey, it's there. Like that's, hey, when I get to 95, it's there. When I'm a 110, what do I make there, right? If I want to be with, right? Like if I'm, hold on, my stupid thing's in the way, right? If I'm at Legal in General, we know, right? 20-year plus 23rd terms, we make a little bit on a 10 and 15, right? But this one's easy. It's just your commission level, right? Versus like we get into like mutual that has 5 billion products, right? So, right? Like, are you selling like different answers, right? Like, what are things you're having to sell? Why, right? Living Promise, right? Like, versus like Medicare, Medicaid, right? An L-tier care, right? Critical Advantage. Keep in mind, they're great. We don't make a lot of money on them though. Okay. So, every carrier that we work with, right, is in here, right? Now, here's a couple things too. Keep in mind, right? What is one of the other reasons we saw we make 60 at Mutual, we make 60 at AmAm, right? Did you guys know UHL's final expense product that's in Navigator at 80, you make 75% on that product? Did you guys know that? And the reason for a long time, right, we had avoided them is because you still had to wet sign their policy. That was a pain. You don't have to do that anymore. Okay. As of February, they have their text signature approved. It's done. Right. I like their product. It's pretty liberal. Okay. But I also like that I'm making 10 to 15% more commission, right, on a product. Right. Like on there, it's in there. Okay. So know with our quality products, right, we tend to make more commission. Okay. So, you know, same. SBLI, work your way up, go from there. So that's the master commission schedule. Product concepts. What is mortgage protection? It literally has training videos. All our carrier, like a bunch of our core carrier partners, right? This isn't everybody, but these are products we use, right? But like there is so much training in here, right? It is unbelievable, right? So go back to carriers and products, right? If you want to learn like debt-free life, final expense, right? Like, hey, I want to know a little more. This is how I just learned how to do it, right? Like, okay, what is this? I went and read about it, and then I just set a bunch of appointments, right? Again, don't go think you're going to become a DFL expert out of the gate. Do not try to get lost in here, okay? But there is a lot of things we can do in there, all right? And then, darn, damn it. Right? Cures products. Everything else is there. Disability, final expense, all this stuff, right? Now here's where it gets cool, okay? Go to carriers, right? How many of us saw the thing pop up in HQ and said, hey, there's updates from the carriers, right? We all got that notification, correct? How many of us knew where to go find the updates? Right? Like, where do we go find them? We find them in here, right? So these are the 10 carriers we get out of the gate, okay? So if you want to know their updates and what's going on, right? So Legal in General, right? Their update is here. Hey, here's things that are going on. When I tell you guys all the time, how do I know where to email? This, right? Quality Sales. They have a team set up just for us, boys and girls, okay? It's one of the reasons I like them so much. But this talks about like all the carrier notes. Hey, to receive overrides, if you're building, where do you have to be licensed, right? It's not available in New York. Yes, you have to have E&O, right? All non-state appointments are done just in time, right? You can go look that up if you don't know what that means, okay? Hey, do I need a green card or can I do this? What are my citizenship requirements? And this has all our information, right? Like, and don't forget, right? Log into Navigator, how to quote it. But people ask me all the time, how do I learn? How do I know all this about the products? I just went and read all this stuff, right? I was like, okay, I'm going to stick to like some core carriers, right? We know, everybody knows me, knows I'm selling Legal in General term first, right? I'm going to go with Americo, UHL Trans, and then pivot to Corebridge, right? Like I'm trying to stay in a really specific lane. I'm not trying to learn 17 products, okay? But here's the other thing, right? Agent login, e-app, right? Hey, I need to get over to Americo, right? Agent login. It takes you right there, right? Every carrier has that. It has their phone numbers, okay? Right? Hey, I'm dealing with, an accidental at mutual, right? Hey, where do I go to log in? The website. If I need to do an application, right? Everything is right there and the updates are there, right? Hey, Mutual Haas said this, right? What's impacted, right? So, right? Important updates, contract paperwork. Like you can find out a bunch of information about each carrier, okay, as you go through. But I use this every day. And then once you've been here a while, you get access to all the other carriers. I have this open. This is just always open. This is a tab. You guys can see my screen, right? This is a tab that is always open on my computer, right? Like, because I can go in and boom, like, hey, I need to get over to Transamerica. What's that link again? Oh, hey, I need to do a risk assessment. What number to call? Like, they literally have all their information there. And here's the deal, this is updated all the time. It's not old, it's not behind, it's not there. Okay. And then if you want to just be like, where do I quote? Right? Boom. It's just going to take you to their quote tools. Boom. F&G. You can go quote it, right? It's going to take you to sales link, right? Hey, I want to quote SBLI. Where do you think it's going to take you? Navigator, right? You'll see. Oh, hey, logging you into Navigator. There you go, right? So it'll literally take you to their quote sites, okay? And their applications, okay? If you're ready to do like an app for them, that's a different portal for different people sometimes, right? Like, where do I do the application, right? How do I access an app for them? There's literally links there, okay? And, right? So back to this, right? They're like right there. So example, agent login website, but I want to quote Corebridge, right? It'll just take me to the agent login. It's going to take me to Connects. I can sign in, right? I can go right there and there, and it's going to take me there really easy. I understand Scott's site has like quick quote links, and that's easy. I have that open sometimes too. But a lot of times I'm needing information, right? Like, how do I get in contact with them? Who do I message? Who do I reach out to? You see 5, 12, 25, right? Hey, there's new debt collection timelines, right? Initial notice, this is what's happening, right? Like they have new debt rules. SIWL products. Oh, by the way, you can't do GIWL in Maine also, right? You have to be pre-appointed to sell in Virginia, right? E&O is required, right? Like, and then you want to know about the product. Oh, hey, here's the cheat sheet, right? Like they literally have a cheat sheet for us to look at. Oh, hey, underwriting guidelines, no MIB, right? Like you can go look at all kinds of stuff. So uh, this tool is just incredible now for what's available on this site, right? Like you guys should be going in, pressing buttons, looking at everything, learning everything, right? This is going to make you better way, way faster. So I wanted to take the last 15 minutes. Yep, all of the guides are there, everything, right? Like half the companies have websites built for us, right? That have microsites that have the agent underwriting guides, right? Like when I want to go look at like Transamerica's quick cheat sheet that shows select graded, right? I just go click this and it opens it up. So, all right. So I wanted to leave the last 15 minutes. I know this was not like the super like exciting one, but I think this is like a core process that we should be taking advantage of and really use a lot better. So does anybody have any sales stuff they want to go over the last few minutes? Anybody struggling at a point, hearing something a lot? Hey, I'm here, right? Like anything they want to talk about as we're going through here?
I just want to say from when it started to what it is now, and Debbie can attest, Steve can attest to that, it's like so amazing. And everybody needs to take advantage of it. I mean, like Trevor, I have the um, carrier products open all the time. I actually used it today to just refresh myself on a surety disability because I have a client that's been asking about it. You know, so you can go there, look, what does it cover? What does it what doesn't it cover? Moves critical, you know, advantage. What do they get paid out for? You know, it's just there's just all the information is right there.
Yeah,
It's
and I would
just
just add, because you need, and you said it, right? There's so much information, right? So especially if you're new, it can be overwhelming. So just block out an hour a day, right?
Right.
You don't have to figure it all out, you know? And then, especially with the carriers, like with those core ones, focus on the 3 or 4 that you're writing. You know, and then expand out from there.
Like I went and learned America inside and out. I took all their training. I went to all their classes. I asked the reps up. I called them all the time, right? I didn't call Scott first. I would call the carrier, ask the carrier. I would talk to them. That's what they're there for. They're there to help us. Right. And even if it say, oh, an hour, but 30 minutes, think about what 15 to 30 minutes a day will do for your product knowledge and your training, right? Just even that, right? Like we're all here to, right, never have a boss again, right? And really help, impact families and our families' lives, you know, and you can do that by there, right? Like look at like AVT, like asking questions at like she had 20 grand in passive income, right? Like guys like that she's just bringing in and saying, hey, here, subject matter, we're go run that, right? So, but just a little by little each day, this will help you. So I see Katie's question. Katie, I would say you need to dig into their why more, right? You need to ask more questions. Hey, tell me more about that. What is it that has you, so price conscious? Okay. I also like things that say, another pivot that always works is, hey, let's take money out of the equation. I get budget's important here, but right, I've never had a product I couldn't get somebody approved for. So if money wasn't the factor, would you do this today? Right. And see what, and if they answer yes, then you're getting to their why. Okay. You're like, okay, yeah. Like, all right. So now you need to dig in, right. And ask those, tell me more about that. Hey, can you walk me through that? Learn how to be a professional question asker, because what that says is, hey, I need to compare prices. I'm shopping. And again, is that going to happen? Sure. Right. Like, I'm working some final expense leads right now. They're shopping. I don't care. Like, I'll just turn them and burn them and be okay. But mortgage protection, no, right? It's about getting to their why. It's about understanding what they're looking for and how they're looking for it. So,
And most of them, at least my last 3 appointments, I use Sales Genius like religiously for all my appointments, but the majority of them, at least recently, don't have a why. And so I always click like week why and then go through it that way. But it's like we see things every day, all day on Facebook, whether it's GoFundMe's, whether it's, meal trains, whatever. Like we see it all day, every day. But majority of them don't have a strong why. They're just like, oh, I just saw it, figured I'd give it a shot. I don't know. No, I don't know anybody. So it's like, how do you attack that and like put that back on them?
So Katie, let me ask you a question. Would it be difficult for you while you were alive to keep making your house payments if you couldn't work?
Is that all you're asking them?
Notice how she responded before I did? I will sit there and shut up after I ask the question. You have to be quiet, right? Everybody will answer. But yeah, like I'm role playing with you, right? Like that's what you ask them, right? Like, yes. And if they're the 78-year-old overweight smoking diabetic, no, we can't get them living benefits. But right, living benefits cover them while they're alive, right?
Mhm.
Like we have those products to pivot to. And even, it's even in the appointment setting, right? Like as you get more comfortable, you'll learn how to like when you ask that why, you just don't roll over it. Hey, why did you originally reach out to coverage? Okay, I let them tell me more about that. oh, hey, right? Like I want them to audibly say out loud because I know the math is true. Listen, are there going to be exceptions to the rule? Sure, right? Like, but you know, that side of it is there. So, and then like Jesse, like how do you get more commitment? You learn to get to their why in that question. So here's the process here when you're new. Okay. I personally went through this, okay? And I have 20 plus years of sales experience and I still went through this. My show rate sucked. My first month, it was atrocious. And it really took me 90 days. And I was making thousands of calls a month to get better at my lockdown. Okay. So, right? Yeah, we'll talk about that, TJ, right? So that's where you got to learn old way versus new way, right? So, you know, we want to make sure people understand too, this isn't MPI, right? This isn't mortgage protection that protects the bank, right? MPI protects the bank. This protects you. Okay. But back to Jesse, it's, you know, when we first start, we're selling appointments and you have to get through selling appointments to setting appointments, right? And then it's that commitment of, hey, I'm really busy. I'm going to show up here for you. But if you just blow through their why, even in the appointment setting, and don't let them go through it just to set the appointment, they're not going to show most likely. Also, do not okay, one call close if we can, right? They can't miss the appointment if they're on the phone, right? If they're on the phone, they can't miss the appointment. And then we know from that evening and then each day out, the longer you schedule it out, the drop in the show percentage is huge, right? So as I'm getting done there, hey Jesse, that sounds great. I'm going to see if I can squeeze you into my schedule tonight. Would be before 5 or after 5 be better for you, right? After 5, okay. I could squeeze. Jess, what time normally you get home, right? What time are you home, settled? Like 6. Okay, so right, you got to get settled, be the fam. So I could get you in at 6:45, or I could squeeze you in at 7:30. Which of those two work better? Right? I'm locking them down that way, so I'm pinning them in, and then I just read what it says. Once you get better at that presentation lockdown, I literally make people promise me now. I literally say to them, hey, Steve, I promise I'm going to show up to help protect you and your family tonight. I just want to make sure that you're committed to do the same and can make that same promise so you don't stop another family from being protected. And here's what happens. I still get no-showed, but they let me, I almost never get ghosted now. How did I get comfortable on one call closes? Just doing them, right? Just doing them. I just started asking the question of, like when I get to that point, and I'm reading the situation. Does it sound like they're driving? Do I need the spouse there? Is it right? Like you also have to have some read into that situation, but it's like, hey, if they're in their late 50s, early 60s and up, there's a good chance they're retired, right? Like if we're catching them and they're retired, I'm just want to do it right then and there. So it just depends. That's a little bit of a feel situation is all, right? And then like to address TJ's question, right? The bank. This is old way, new way, right? Like I'll pick on Keith here, right? Hey Keith, right? Let me ask you a question, right? I'd love for you to call your bank, but do you think they're incentivized to have you pay off the loan, or do you think they make money by having you pay that interest payment every month?
They want their money.
Right. So the old way this used to work is up until 2008, the banks used to be able to offer this, right? And then I explained the old way. And I go, the new way now, the coverage is in place, right? And I just give them that quick explanation. I'm like, I just want them to think about, right? It's there. This is what's available. This is, what I have, those kind of things. So, but it's literally becoming like a professional question asker, AKA problem solver, right? Like, but who wants to pay more interest? No one ever, right? The bank is incentivized. The only way they make money is if they keep making the mortgage payment. They don't want The bank doesn't want the people to be protected. It's not in the bank's best interest, right? If you die, you don't have coverage, the thing gets foreclosed on, what happens? The bank gets to resell the paper, right? They get to resell the house and they make a ton of money on it. It's a huge business for the banks. They don't want this stuff paid off, right? And that's the difference between a life insurance company and a bank, right? It's why you don't hear of any A-rated life insurance companies go under and crashes, so you know. And this is what you can share with them. By law, the life insurance companies are required to have their payouts and available liquidity wise at all times, which means if every person on that thing died at once and they had to pay out $20 billion in policies, they have $20 billion on cash in hand, right? A bank does it, right? Try go getting 10 grand out of your bank today and watch them laugh at you, right? Oh no, you got to call and order that. It's going to take 2 weeks to get us 10 grand to give you, right? Banks, they take our cash and leverage it 100 times over, right? Banks do the exact opposite, right? So the bank that's financing you, are they incentivized to have you keep making those payments? Yes, they don't want you protected. That's how I handle that. What's up, Ms. Anderson? Minute
I
left.
was just gonna say something that happened yesterday on a DFL appointment, because I'm doing those, but their mortgage balance, it was like 553,000.
Mhm.
The interest that they were going to pay over the next 28 years was 620,000.
Right.
So their
Remember, interest
total
rates are
debt,
through the roof right now.
so their debt is over $1.2 million just for their mortgage. So think about that. Do you think the bank wants us to stop what we're doing? Definitely.
Right. Think about all that money, right? Interest, right? Listen, you either have the market locked in, but if you've bought a home in the last 3 years now, you're paying 5 to 7%. That is so much money, right? So, right? Do we want to be Allison and just have 20 grand, right? And passive income put towards us? Yes, I do. Right? Like, go watch those trainings and work on it. So, I hope this was helpful for everybody today.
Thank you, Trevor.
Yep. All right.
Very
Very-
helpful. Thank you.
Very helpful.
If,
Thank you.
Trevor.
if I don't get to talk to any of you
Appreciate always.
personally,
you.
Thank you, Trevor.
I hope everybody has a good Mother's Day weekend. If I don't get to see or talk to any of you, go have funs with all of those. So,
Hey, Trevor, I have a question real quick.
what? I'm waiting.
Oh, okay, sorry. I don't know if you can hear me. I do have someone I still Transamerica still hasn't responded to me about my contracting thing.